Good morning, Thelma. Good morning, all my gems. Cassandra, Beverly, Cheryl, my girl, Keita. I'm going to come on the camera in a minute. Good morning, Thelma. Good morning. You guys know I have a perspective. Let me undo my camera. Hey, guys. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. All my gems come up in here. By the way, whether you're subscribed to my Facebook subscribers group or not, you're a gem. If you follow me, you're a gem. Debbie, it's better six. Look, it's Debbie said when she's out in California, 6:26 a.m. Damn. Look, it's better than 6:26 p.m. because you know my behind be tired, ready to go to bed. So hush and wake up, open your eyelids. Hey guys. On witness protection. Hey Mabel. Hey guys, come up on in here. You guys know I have a perspective and I have always have a unique perspective. And as a mindset coach, okay, as a mindset coach, I teach people how to think in a way that's conducive to not only reality, but their life and what the clarity that you're trying to get in your life. I put things in a way, I bring things together in a way that'll help you understand the things that may seem a little bit confusing. And you guys know I'm not of this world. I'm from Pluto somewhere. I don't know where I get my mindset from, but I have a perspective for you guys to consider that that has the potential to bring you guys a little bit of peace. Peace is what we seek. Peace. Peace is what we seek. Peace, light, and understanding, right? We want understanding about things, right? I'm on Facebook and YouTube, and thank you guys for being on YouTube for me. I appreciate it. I prefer YouTube because that's where the bucks are. Sorry to say, but it is what it is. That's where the money is, on YouTube. Guys, please like and share this live. I'm putting the link in the chat. And I will probably be ending this Facebook. Hey, Kimmy Kim. Hey, Vidette. My beautiful Kimmy Kim. Okay, Miss Lynn. Good morning, Grand Rising. Am I seeing my Facebook people on here? I don't see Kimmy Kim on here. Hey, Frida. I know it's early, guys, but guess what? I woke up with something on my heart, and I decided to, I like to share what I have because I think it's important. I like to share what I have. And I know it's unusual for me to go on live this morning, but I realize that this is really my best energy. Because by the time I get to 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, well, 3 o'clock are pretty much okay, but once it gets past 5, I'm really no good. And then that's at the end of my energy. So I figure I probably will start going live in the mornings like this before I really get my day started with a lot of things that I do. Hey, Glory, Grand Rising Faye. Why can't I see Grand Rising Facebook user? Let's talk about it. Right. And anyone who wants to come on live after this, after we have our discussion, you're welcome to come on live. Facebook, I did put YouTube in the chat. So you can come over to YouTube. I'm not going to end you, but I prefer most of my people on YouTube as the best way to support me since YouTube, pays. And you woke me up. So I guess I will stay. Wake up, everybody. Hey, Zyba, no more sleeping in bed. Dun 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 dun. And no matter what you said, I don't know the words. Then ooh, of us sing with me. Who's to be? Whatever, whatever, whatever. It's a beautiful song to me. Disregard that, guys. Disregard that. Okay. Grand Rising, Kathy. Hey, guys. So you see the title, okay? Secret Voters. I'm coming with my perspective because, I self-contemplate a lot. My goal in my life is to always grow and get understanding. I don't like a victim mentality. I don't accept it. I don't adapt to it. I find myself in it every now and again, and then I have to self-adjust because as a mindset coach who specializes in spiritual and human psychology, I know that nothing happens out of the blue. It only happens out of the oblivion. Okay? Our eyes are not open on on the reality of life. All right. So I don't ever say, oh, woe's me and I'm a victim and this shouldn't have happened. You guys know there's purpose and pain. I always preach that. And nothing happens out of nowhere and for no reason. Everything that happened is supposed to happen. There's not an accident. It's not an accident. I don't care if it's fraud going on. I don't care. Whatever it is, even with all that stuff that happened in 2000 and with Trump and the power and everything in this world bad that happens is supposed to happen. Okay, it's a reason why it happens. We just have to find a reason, okay, in order for us to change. Oh Lord. Hey guys, I put the YouTube link in the chat. And it's really early. Is Penny here? Penny, if Penny is here, hey Penny Winnie. They didn't count all the votes. The numbers were so astronomical that even if they was missing 100,000, it wouldn't have brought her back up to par. But I'm going to give you guys a perspective. We all have, and I have also. But then I always have to practice what I preach because I know that what I preach is real. You know what I'm saying? It applies to me. There is no special circumstance when it comes to life and what takes place. Everything happens because it's supposed to happen. There are no accidents. It wasn't supposed to happen no other way. We wanted it to happen another way, but that's just not the reality of life. We can't have everything our way. Good morning. Hey, Facebook user. Yeah, Thelma, yeah. It was already in the plan. Happy Fabulous Friday to you too. The election didn't, the electoral, right. Well, it wasn't only the electoral, it's the majority, okay? You got to think about this, all right? Penny, I'm going to close my door. Penny's outside and about my wife is out there mowing up leaves. And Penny's out there chasing a lawnmower. Okay. Hey, Angela Hansford. We're over on Facebook and YouTube, the chat. The link is in the chat if you guys want to come over to YouTube. I prefer it, but I'm going to leave the Facebook there. So it's just because some of you guys are more comfortable with Facebook. Okay, so here's the thing, right? And as people come in, they can catch the replay. I don't know. We all felt this thing of this election, right? We all felt this thing of it. What I chose to do, let me close this window because Penny and that lawnmower is just not working. And I don't know why my windows are so damn tight. Y'all heard that? Like, why is it so tight? I mean, it's a good thing, but damn. Thank you, Facebook user, on his way to YouTube. You guys, please like and share this live. I would appreciate it. Liking and sharing is free. Okay? And engaging is free. All right? So here's my thing about this election, right? I found myself in the same space as you guys have found yourself in. The question is, where do we go from here? Yeah, we don't go anywhere from here until we realize how we got where we got today. So you can't move forward until you process where you are, or else you move forward and make the same mistake again. And then election happens again, and then it goes into the people that you don't want it to go to, and then you're back to the same place of disappointment again. We have to understand how elections work. We have to understand how people work, because people are the one who put him in office, right? So we're going to get to where do we go from here. Okay, we're going to definitely get to where we go from here. So I found myself contemplating, why do I feel cheated? Why do I feel? Because I'm not a conspiracy, a conspiratist, if that's the word. That's not who I am. I'm not the person that thinks about conspiracy theory, right? But it did cross my mind that maybe something was hacked from, I don't know, Russia. I don't know. These crazy thoughts went through my mind, but it came in and went out, because that's just not how my mindset is. And I don't believe in things not happening for a reason. You know what I mean? And I don't believe that things happen for no reason. I think things that happen is supposed to happen. We have to find out why it happened. And if we continue to play the victim in things, if we can, on your way to YouTube, thank you. If we, and hi, Marsha, if we continue to play the victim, we'll never understand why things happen or why a certain thing happened, right? So I had to really think about this and say to myself, why did this really happen? Now, I didn't, as you guys know, I told you in my last video after the election that Trump represents the face. He is the face of America. And what I meant by that is that he is the pawn that America used to get their opinion out about what they think about certain social norms and issues. Okay? Meaning the border, closed border, meaning LGBTQ, meaning transgender rights, meaning abortion, meaning economy, right? They use him because he's just a red dot in a sea of blood, right? Because if it's all red, he's just a participant. He happens to be the one to raise his hand and say, I'll tell the world how y'all feel, right? Except that his personality and his character is flawed because it's hurtful. Now, he has a lot of truth behind what he says in his mind that's truthful, but he delivers it in a way that's so harsh and so divisive, you know? And he's very critical, and he's very judgmental, and he appears to be racist, and he's definitely is prejudiced. All those bad things that he is, we already know, right? But that's who they chose to get their point across, right? Happy Fabulous Friday, Buttercup. She was failed. She only had 3 months. They tried to blame her for the Biden policies. Yes, all of that stuff. And so, hey, Lynn. I have people on Facebook, on YouTube also. Hey, Angela. And so, you know, he's the face of America. He is saying what a lot of people are feeling. Okay. They felt an economical strain, right? It doesn't matter if we had the best economy, you know, since whenever. People, it's not about what it is, it's about what people feel. And perception is always reality. Everybody's perception is their reality. You know, as far as when it comes to social norms, you know, when it comes to the LGBT community, TQ community, and the transgender community, and all these things, you know, people, for the most part, people don't care about that. Whether or not a person is gay or transgender, they just say, don't bring it to my home. You know, people don't want, a lot of people, and we know this, do not want transgender or LGBTQ couples living next to them that's raising children, and you have children, and then you're going to they don't want to send their children over there to play because they're trying to get their children to see a certain way of life. And it's very invasive in their minds to introduce something that they don't want to produce in their own families. You see what I'm saying? And you guys know I'm married to a woman, right? So, and I've been this way for over 30 years. I have 3 children and they're grown, but I've been in this lifestyle for almost 30 years. All right. And so As much as there is next door to me, there's two men living together, right? But in our neighborhood, even though New York is blue, our neighborhood in Suffolk County is red. I got Trump flags all around me in people's yards posted up. Okay. And I believe my wife and I were the only ones that voted Democrat this year, amongst people in our neighborhood, because our neighborhood is red. Right. And so we know how people feel. I live this life. I live around, I don't live in a diverse neighborhood or county. It's diversity here, but it's not, it's not as diverse as it is in New York City. It's just not, right? And so people feel a way about certain things. People feel a way about borders. You know what I mean? People feel a way. So I'm gonna get to it's small-minded, yeah. It's very small-minded, but we haven't gotten to a place where we're able, here's the thing. Since censorship has come into play, it didn't take away racism and prejudice against LGBT and all these separate, secular groups. It didn't take it away. It just muted it. You know what I mean? Because now you can't say certain things, you can't do certain things because of laws and policies that was put in place, right? But it doesn't mean that racism is not still prevalent, right? Now we have came a long way, but we only came 50% of the way. There's still more ways to go. And in the long way that we came, it was given to society in nickels, pennies, here. So slowly we was chipping away at it to a point of acceptance, but never, okay, embracing. The goal is not to get everybody to embrace us as Black people, as minority people, as LGBT people. That's not the goal. The goal is to get society to accept us as a normal first-class citizen, right? But women I'm not going to throw that in the universe. Women, we have been second-class citizens since day one. Men don't see us the same way. They don't see us as equal. Even your father, your brothers don't see you as us as equals, right? LGBT, no, we're second-class citizens. Our marriages are considered second-class. We're not even recognized, even though it's been put into law that it's that we can marry legally. Got my fan. Kathy Hopkins said, I believe it's all true. However, America is not ready, nor do they want a woman president. Right, and that's part of it. Trump ran 3 times for the presidency. He won twice against women who lost against a man. Right, and here's the thing when I say that our men in Latina and those secret voters did not fail us. And here's the thing. Let's just address the secret voter part, right? Because no one expected those numbers to be astronomical the way it was for him. Okay, he surpassed his own freaking presidency when he had those numbers. He went. I mean, the whole country was damn near red, and he flipped quite a few states, right? Here's what hit, and of course, everyone is bewildered and saying, "Wait a minute, what happened here? What happened here?" We realized in that moment that there were a lot of secret voters, right? And we realized that although he disrespected the Latina community and he has, whatever we've been going through as minorities, Black men, we realized that a lot of them voted for him. Now, why did they vote for him? And that's what I want to get to. Why did they vote for him? And it wasn't only them; it was still the majority of our country. Okay, but why did these secret voters vote for him? And why was it a secret? Okay, get to the first part. Why did they vote for him? People vote according to their self-interest. All right. When we talk about they failed us, first of all, there's something flawed with that thought. Because to even think, hold on, Facebook users, I'll get to that. Because to even think that someone is supposed to vote according to our values is already distorted to begin with, right? It's distorted. What you value is what someone else does not value, okay? And everybody, I don't care if it's your brothers, your sisters, your fathers, or your mothers, your cousins, your uncles, your grandparents. Just because you are Democrat and your whole family tends to vote for Democrats, some people just vote Democrat because they just refuse to be anything else. It doesn't matter, even if they don't agree with Democrat, they're just voting Democrat. The same way with Republican. They don't care what they're pushing, they're still Republican. People vote according to party first, right? And then you have the, those risky ones who will vote, not risky, who vote according to their own values. Who vote according to their own values, right? So what do I value? Let me just start here. What do I value? I value LGBTQ rights. Why? Because my marriage, I need that to be recognized, okay? I don't want to be known as a second-class citizen. That's very, very important to me. And primarily because before LGBTQ rights came along, there were a lot of couples, men and women, gay couples, who built whole lives together. And their families never even recognized them as a real marriage. And the minute one of them passed away, the spouse that built the life with that person for 50, 60 plus years had no rights to nothing in the house. They lost everything. My doorbell. Hold on a minute, guys. I got a notification that my doorbell chimed. They lost everything in the house and didn't have access to nothing. And they were thrown out of the house that they built because their marriages wasn't recognized in society. And so it's very, very important. And I'm going to get to all you guys' comments. It's very, very important for LGBT rights for me. Okay? For me. Then I voted for... Probably get a little clearer. Okay, hold on, guys. Oops. Hold on. I'm trying to get my mic going. Hold on a minute. Settings, audio. Okay. Okay. So I'm sorry, guys. I keep muting. Okay. I think we're good. Tell me if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me now? I know Lena. Hey, Lena. Can you guys hear me now? Let me know. Let me put up my own mic and let me see. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. You can hear me. Okay. Thank you for liking and sharing. So, the fact that women's rights for me is very, very important. I would love to see a woman president. I don't care if she's white, black, I don't care what she is. I would love to see a woman in office. That's value to me. That shows me that we are moving a step closer to acceptance, right? I also like the fact that she was a black woman, right? That's important to me because I am African American. So it'd be nice to see that we have moved a little closer up the scale in society. So it's a lot of reasons why I did vote for her. Okay. Now, I'm not a political person. I don't follow politics a lot. And you guys, I always say that I voted for the first time in my life for Obama, right? Because I wanted to be part of that history and I like what he was pushing. But that was it. Other than that, I did vote in every election after that. And so that's the reason why I voted for her. Now, let me put it this way, guys, so I can give you guys a good perspective of where I'm going with this as far as those secret voters as male and Latina voters. I have 3 children. My daughters are almost 30. My son is over 30 years old, right? He's a black, strong, alpha male, okay? Who believe in traditional values, by the way, even though he has a mother within the LGBT community. Now, here's where we get it mixed up, and here's where we are wrong when it comes to what we view or what we perceive other people, or what we think other people should do for us. Just because you're in the family just because you're a Democrat does not mean that everyone in your family should follow suit. I don't care how vile that man is, right? People vote for what they value. Now, you take my son, for instance. Good, Thelma. You take my son, for instance, right? Now, I'm not saying that he voted for Trump. I'm not saying that he died. For what I know, he didn't, but he could be part of that secret vote. I don't know. And if he is, he's within his right to do so. And let me tell you why. What I value may be different, and it is different than what my son value. Okay. I raised my son primarily by myself, right? I've been gay most of his life, because he's over 30. Okay. So I've been this way almost 30 years, right? He is an alpha male, and he believes in traditional marriages and traditional households. And he's within his right to do that, to feel that way, to have his own values. That's what he values, right? So let's just say, for instance, if he did vote for Trump, am I going to say, you voted for Trump, you must be a racist? No, I know my son is not a racist. I know my son is not okay with the January. This is only hypothetically speaking that my son, in the event that he did vote for Trump, I know that he's not hypothetically, okay with the insurrection. I know that my son doesn't feel the way Trump feels about women, right? But if he's going to vote, he's going to vote according to his self-interest. If he values a traditional family and he prefers that, then why would he vote for someone who was pushing LGBTQ rights and transgender laws? Not that he's against it, because I'm his mother. He wants me to be accepted all over the world and all over the land, right? But he's still allowed to have his values. He's still allowed to have his values. And he could be like many men who feel like women are second-class women, or that women should not be in certain positions. Not to say that my son is like this. I'm just using this as an example to let you guys know that as a mother, I have to accept my son's decision if he was to do whatever it is, if he was one of them secret voters, if he was to vote for Trump. Right? So is he supposed to sacrifice his values for mine and say, let me vote on my mother's behalf because they are pushing, LGBT rights? No, my son deserves to vote for what he wants to vote for. He deserves to vote within his value system. A traditional home and a traditional marriage is what my son values. Right? When you have people that, hey, Lisa, let me say hi to Lisa. Lord have mercy. Y'all don't even know what we go through behind the scenes. Hi, Lisa. You see, I just looked over there and saw you. You better be hearing me say hello. Be getting a phone call with attitude. Lord have mercy. Hey, honey child, sister girl. Okay? So just because I have my values over here, do I expect my son to have my same values? And do I expect him to vote Democrat because I'm his mother and I'm a Democrat? Which, by the way, I'm not all the way Democrat. But should I force my son to vote my way just because I believe that it's wrong, whatever the other side is doing? No, my son gets to vote whatever way is within his self-interest. So if he values a traditional marriage, he deserves to vote on that side. If he values closed borders, then he deserves to vote on that side. If economic value is important to him, and I know it is because my son is an engineer and he's an alpha male and he doesn't rely on a woman for anything. He's the type of man that wants to take care of his household completely financially. So if pushing him up in this world as an engineer and get him more financial status, that's his goal. So why do I expect my son, even though I'm not saying that he did this, I'm just hypothetically using this scenario. So Lisa laughing. Child, y'all see what me and Lisa go through? We're like high school kids, to be honest with you. We're really juvenile in some ways. But anyway. But I'm just giving you guys a scenario because we're all, when you talk about Black men and Latina disappointed us and let us down. No, how did they let us down? They have their vote. They get to vote in whichever way that they choose to. They don't owe us anything when it comes to their vote. They have to vote according to their values and what they want to happen in their life and what's going to enhance their life. Now, unfortunately, the things that these people want comes in a hand of what we perceive to be a devil, right? And the devil goes, you want this or not? You see what I'm saying? So while we're thinking that whoever voted for Trump is a racist, that's not true. I got people in my family that voted for Trump. I know people that voted for him and they don't act nothing like him and they're not racist. They're not racist. They don't act like him. They don't talk like him. They separate themselves from him. Let me just give y'all this. Chris Cuomo helped me understand this other aspect of it. He said, when it comes to people who voted for Trump, he said, the people who vote for Trump hate something else more than they reject him. And he hates what they hate. You got that? Let me say that again. The people who vote for Trump hate something else more than they hate his personality or his characteristics. They hate that more. They hate the LGBT community more than what they despise in Trump. They hate transgender equality more than what they despise in Trump. And why do they hate it more? Because it's a social norm being pushed to the extreme in their eyes. They're saying, I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you're transgender, but why does it have to be, why does it have to be a law? Why does it have to be shoved in my face? Now, even though that seems wrong, guys, and I know it seems wrong, the point of the matter is that people are entitled to their perception because their perception is reality, right? And that was the majority. And you think about it, the majority of the world don't want to see transgender. The majority of the world don't want to see LGBT community rights go to the extreme where marriage is there. Why? Because in their eyes, from their perspective, 2 women or 2 men can't have children. So the population of birth of this world goes down when one of us get married, they say. Even though there's a million freaking kids to be adopted out there to compensate for that, but that's what their views are sometimes. All right, I'm gonna get to all of you guys' comments, I promise, right? I just want to make my point. And so my point to this is, when we talk about the Latina and the Black community or males letting us down, how is that so? Are they supposed to disregard their own self-interest, or are they supposed to look out for mine and yours? Are we lending our votes to any Republican family members? No. So why should they lend their vote over there, over here? I didn't ask my children for their vote. They got to vote in according to however they want to vote, whatever they value, right? Whatever they value. Now, here's where the secrecy comes in at, where the secret voters come in at. Who I believe is the best job, right, Lisa? Here's where the secret comes in at. Why it was so many secret voters. It's a hard conversation to have with a family member. Let's just say, and again, I'm going to use my own son in this because I want to make it personal so you guys can see where I'm coming from with this. Let's just say my son wanted to vote for Trump this round. And he's a pig, not my son Trump, right? He's a monster to me. He may even be a monster to my son, the way that he carries himself, right? But the way that Trump carries himself is not against the law, right? And remember, people hate more. People hate something else more than what they hate about him, right? And I represent what people hate. My wife represents what people hate, the majority, okay? Kamala represents what people hate. primarily men. They don't want to see a woman in power, let alone a black woman. White people don't want to see black women in power to that extent. On top of that, whatever it is that she's pushing as far as gender equality, the world does not agree with that. The majority does not agree with that because they are not ready for it, because we've been giving it to them in nickel and pennies. And now you want it in a whole dollar bill and say, here, take that. And you're going to accept it. People are not ready for that. Just like they're not ready to see blacks in certain, African-American people in certain positions. Right? So when it comes to the secret conversations and them secret voters, this is what that look like. That's like my son having to sit me down and say, Mom, I'm going to vote for Trump. Now, if I'm crazy, which, I'm crazy. I'm a crazy mom. I would be like, well, why would you vote for him? Do you know that he grabbed women's pussies? Do you know that I believe that he's a rapist? Do you know that he's a pig? Did you hear what he said about Puerto Ricans? Do you know what he what he's planning for this country? How is that a conversation that my son is going to be able to have with me? Right, Sylvia? Thank you, Doris. How is that a conversation that my son can have with me? It's a hard conversation. So that's where the secret voters come in at. Because what my son would be saying is, Mom, I get that he's all of that, but I'm not all of that. But what he's pushing, that's what I want. I want economics. The economy matters to me. I want the borders closed because I feel like, we need to take care of our own country first before we go dishing out grants and benefits and stipends for people who come into the country illegally. I sort of feel that kind of same way. I'm all for closed borders. I'm not all the way for everything that Democrats was pushing. I am for closed borders because we got enough going on here. We got people that's coming into this country who are getting stipend. The minute they come in here, they get slapped with a check. We got 10 cities out here where people are living on the street. They can't even get food. They don't even have enough food kitchens. But they can't get what illegal migrants get. People that haven't went through the due process of coming to our country like everyone else the right way. And so now we get to give up our seat to have someone else who's not of this country sit down and eat. We don't get those same benefits. They even have subsidies for families that will take in an immigrant and they will pay you to house that immigrant. When have they ever offered that for anybody that's living on the street? I had a brother that lived on the street who was an alcoholic before he passed away. He lived on the street by choice, though. You know what I mean? He didn't get those checks. So it's a lot of men that feel that way. It's a lot of people that feel that way. You know what I'm saying? So those are hard conversations to have with people who believe that because I'm your mother or I'm your father or I'm your sister, brother, grandparents, and we've always been Democrats here, we always voted one way, that's the way it should be with everybody that's in that family. That is not true. It's that judgment. It's that pressure that people, again, cannot do whatever it is they want to do. People are being pressured to perform a certain way, and it's not right for us to put that on them. So when we talk about Black and Latina men failing us, that is distorted. That is wrong. That is judgment. And that implies that they owe you their vote. And if they don't agree with a lot of things that the Democrats are pushing, then they shouldn't, then they should just disregard their own needs and come and lend their vote to your special interest. That's not right. They vote according to their self-interest. They disregarded his bullshit and how he is. And another thing, Chris Cuomo, I'm gonna give you guys a link for you guys to watch this video with Chris Cuomo. It is amazing. He gave me so much insight on, in addition to my own. When it comes to, they said, well, she ran against Trump. She didn't run against Trump. And this is what he said. He said she wasn't just running against Trump. She was running against a movement of grievances. How true is that? Let me say that again. Kamala Harris wasn't just running against Trump. She was running against a movement of grievances. Grievances meaning things that the majority of our country is against. And she represented those grievances. So people voted according to what they don't want to see in our country, even though we feel wronged about it. Not everyone agree with what we agree with, and we shouldn't be forcing any member of our family to agree with what we want for ourselves, because guess what? We voted according to our self-interest too. We voted according to what we value in our life and what we want to see in this world. We did that. So why is it wrong that people are doing that? Because you know what it is? Because Trump is a monster. And we didn't separate the monster from the man. The monster is who he is as a person. That's who the monster is, right? The man has a backpack full of goods that many people want. They want those borders closed. They want the economy to get better. They want a traditional marriage. They don't want things forced in their schools. They don't want all of this fluid gender stuff going on. They don't want that. The majority don't want that. And so when you talk about, like Cuomo said, she represents the things that people value more than Trump's personality. Those majority of Trump voters, Kamala represents things that people value, which means she represents LGBT. She represents women in office. She represents Black women on top. She represents all those things, and the things that people on Trump's side value, that they don't want it. That's one of their core values. They don't want any of that. And so that's why she lost. She lost against a nation. She didn't lose against Trump. You guys, we have been putting, let me turn on this fan. We've been putting everything in the melting pot. We've been jumbling everything together. We're saying, how can you vote for that pig? As opposed to how can you vote as opposed to looking at what he is playing on when it came to the majority of the people. He played on division. Why? Because this world has always been this world has always been divided. More so our country. Our country is the most divisive country in the whole entire globe. He played on that. He picked a side. He didn't go down the middle. He picked a side. And he said, I'm going to pick the side of the grievances of the most of the country. He's a white man in power, a billionaire on top of that. He knows all of his peers, everyone, all of his colleagues, everyone in his circle have the same views as him. And he knows the majority of what his culture is feeling. And he played on that. So that's why it was strategic for him. That's why it was strategic for him. And him just being a pig and a monster and a pervert and out loud, you know what he was doing? And you guys missed this. He has always said, there's no set. Lisa said Nicole. Hey, Nicole. She said the man is the monster to me. There's no separation. Right. In our eyes, there is no separation. But guess what? He has a bag. He has a bag of what the majority wanted. So that's what I'm saying. What I mean by separating them, I mean that when it comes to the people that you believe supposed to have voted the other way on our side, he had something that they wanted. We couldn't see past the doo-doo. We was like, no, he's a pig. He's a pervert. He's a rapist. He's this, he's that, and this other. How dare you vote for him? Well, people wasn't voting for those things. That's him. It's not who they are. That's who he is. And people are okay with people being who the hell they are, as long as they're going to give them what they want. You sacrifice your soul for what you want. I wasn't going to say mofo, because y'all know I don't say those words. I just got my words scrambled up. Every person does that. Grand Rising. Every person does that. Every person. Do you guys know how Chinese people feel about us? Do you guys even have a clue of how Chinese people feel about us? I'm not talking about all Chinese people. I'm just saying generally. You don't think they're racist? But what do? You buy hair and lashes from the Chinese. You overlook the racism. You overlook the way that they conduct business. You overlook the child labor in that country for some hair, for some product, for some clothes. Everything from Shein, everything's from China. And you don't even look into the history of Chinese against Black people. You do it too. Right. And look at, right, listen, look how many people buy things from China. Look how many of us order stuff from China. I haven't, but I do eat Chinese food every now and again, so I'm still in the same boat. Right? You overlook the garbage and you say, you still got something that I need. Well, that's what those secret voters are. They overlook the garbage. They overlook trash within Trump. And they said, I'm going to overlook your personality because you have something that I need. These are the changes that I want to see in my life and my country. And then what you say when all these people vote for him, oh, because the United States is racist. Well, not everybody is. If you know a Republican in your life, you don't know the Republican. You know that Republican is not racist. You know that your family member who's a Republican is not racist. You know that your family member is not a pervert, is not a rapist, is not all those things. People, we have a way of getting what we want, and we have a way of putting things aside to get what we want. And that's what happened in this campaign, and that's why he won, because the majority voted for him. Because what he was saying, and I'm not talking about him saying grab people by the pussy. I'm talking about him talking about borders and economics and the economy and all these things. You know, traditional marriages and all these things, or whatever it is, even when it comes to reproductive rights. There are men, husbands and fathers and brothers who voted for Trump despite their daughters and despite their sisters' reproductive rights. Why? Because again, they are not women. They understand what that would mean for women, but they was willing to sacrifice their vote to get what they want to run their households. And probably because they were not ready for all the LGBT and the transgender and all those transgender surgeries and all those things. People are not ready for it. So it's called so people are sacrificial lambs. They sacrifice their family members. They sacrifice their daughters' reproductive rights and said, you know what? I'm the man of this household. I have certain values, and I know my daughter is probably going to suffer from this, and hopefully she doesn't have to suffer. They take a chance on their children not ever needing a reproductive surgery or reproductive services in regards to abortion, right? Because that doesn't happen with everybody. So they take the chance on that and say, well, that's most likely not going to happen with my child. But I'm going to still vote for this man, and I'm not voting for him for him grabbing pussies. I'm not voting for him being a pig and just being as terrible as he is. I'm voting for what he has in his pocket. I'm willing to sacrifice what he has in his pocket for what I want. I mean, I'm willing to sacrifice whatever it is within my family for what I'm trying to get and bring my family to. People vote for their values and they vote for their self-interest, is what I'm saying here. So when we talk about the nation has failed us, no, they didn't. They were entitled to their voice, and they were able to do it anonymously, so that way there would be no backlash. That's where the secret voters come in at. That's where whole voting coming in. There's a booth. You're in there by yourself. You get to vote whatever way you want to vote, and it can be anonymous, not anonymous in the voting. I'm just saying to where people don't have to know. And then they come home and say, yeah, I voted for Kamala Harris. Lies from the pit of hell. You just voted for Trump. Okay, let me get some of these comments. Facebook user said, Lena, you just isn't telling the people. Lena, you just stated sometimes things happen for a reason. I totally agree. Because to be honest, I had in my mind, I have to turn, well, let me just turn this back on. getting a whole bunch of text. In my mind, I had in my mind for 3 months a big concern about her, and it was scary because I felt that someone was going to hurt her, and that scared me. And I felt this deeply. Hold on, let me just turn down some notifications here. I think it's this right here. Okay. And I felt this deeply that the other side was not going to let that happen. I was so scared. Angela Jones. Okay. Hey, Callie. I said this is ridiculous, and some Americans are so small-minded. You know what? And it's true, but that's a part of the problem too, Callie, with all respect. We are small-minded to some Americans also. You see, it's that judgment thing. It's like, if they don't think our way, then they're small-minded. If they don't think our way, then they're wrong. And that's really not true. Perception is reality, honey. And that's just the way that things are. And I guess we, and I know you're talking about, all those people that's not acceptive of all these things. They're saying the same thing about us is what I'm saying. They're saying the same thing about us. We're small-minded. We don't know the damage that's going to do to society. All this old craziness, Fortunately, you have the ability to come into, embracing certain society, certain things in regards to society. It's not a society norm. My lifestyle. It's not, and the majority is just not willing to embrace that. You know what I'm saying? But you have the ability to do that. So consider that a gift. But at the same time, me being in this lifestyle, I still believe that everyone is entitled to their opinion, and their perception is their reality, and their perception is true for them. And they have every right to feel that way. You know what I mean? The majority of our country is small-minded when it comes to racism, when it comes to all of those things, bigotry, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's almost as if the world, our country is just in its totality racist. And I know that that's not true. But for the majority, of certain cultures and certain religions, they don't want us. And they don't want Black men on top. And they don't want certainly a Black woman on top. You know what I mean? And we are still second-class citizens in their life. And hopefully, eventually, things will turn around. And guess what? It will. Not hopefully, it will. Because my parents' generation is a generation that's stuck in all those societal norms. They're the generation. Now, not my mom and my dad, because my mom and my dad is wonderful. They accept everything. But I'm talking about their generation. They're stuck in those societal norms. You know what I mean? And they're the ones who can't adapt. So when that generation pass over to the other side is when the new people will come up, these millennials and Gen Zs, and they come to embrace it, and they will have the power of the world in their hands. And a lot of them are more accepting than our grandparents were. So things are happening, child. Lena, data shows 10 million Democrats did not even show up to vote. You know what? Sometimes people, it's a lot of Democrats. Just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean that you agree with everything Democrats do. When you get Democrats that decide not to vote, that means that Democrats are saying, those particular people are saying, I'm not voting for this monster, even though a lot of them still agree with some of the things that he's pushing, not his monstrous ways, but the things that he's pushing. But they don't want to vote for him because of the way that he is. But they're not voting for the Democrats either because they're not really in agreement with what they're pushing either. That's where that comes in at. Not every Democrat is a Democrat. People straddle the fence in the middle and they vote according to, and sometimes the package on the right comes in as a freaking demon. So you're right about that, Callie. Okay, so these are old comments, but I'll catch up with them. Hold on. Exactly. A lady was overheard saying to her rich bosses, if they lose money, they would lose their income because a lot of their Latina family would lose jobs. You see? Thank you. Hold on. Dama said, I love John. I love John McCain. If he was still alive, I would have voted for him. Kat said, I understand completely. I have a nephew who doesn't align with the Democrat agenda of supporting all LGBT rights or agenda. Right. You see that? Lisa cracking up. I will read. I mean, they will reap what they sow. Kathy says, I have. Oh, we already went through that. Lisa said, I'm not all Democrat. I vote who I believe will do the best job. Right. And that's how it should be. I'm to be totally honest, I wouldn't have voted for either of these candidates because, but chose the lesser of the evils. So basically, yeah. So basically, you lent out your vote to the side of Democrats. That's what you did. You loaned out your vote because it wasn't you. It was just, listen, let me just vote for somebody, you know? And thank you for that vote because it wasn't in your best interest. It was for whatever. I knew things were going south when she didn't address the paying for the surgery for prisoners to have sex change. This was a bone. This was a bone contention. Yeah, people don't want that. The majority does not want that. They damn near don't even agree with it, let alone agreeing and putting it into law that transgender are able to get surgeries. People are not ready for those kind of conversations. And although it's good that she brought those issues was brought up, but you know what? That's not the majority. The majority of our country don't want that. They're not ready for that, and that's why she lost. That's why she lost. They weren't ready. Society norms were being pushed to a breaking point of acceptance, and people don't want to accept certain things. Facebook user said people enter the U.S. illegally are not eligible for federal cash assistance, with the exception of certain Cubans and Haitians. This has been proven false in a number. Well, I don't know about that because remember when the migrants was coming and they were being dropped off in Texas, and Texas was dropping them off in New York and all those things. Those people were given stipends, and they weren't here illegally. They were being processed. They came across the border and they were being processed like in bulk, like here, go, 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 go. So I'm not sure I agree with that. We spend more on Israel citizens than we have ever spent on American citizens. Plus, they get free housing, healthcare, and education. You got that right. See that? This man is a monster to me. There's I read that already. He played us like chess pieces and won. Right. He was playing chess, not checkers. He was banking on division because guess what? Everybody is divisive. Everybody is judgmental. Not everybody, but for the most Americans, those of us who have transcended beyond any of that, then that's a chosen few. But most Americans are divisive. And divisive meaning that they have their judgments against things. They have their opinion against things. Sylvia Doris said Trump represents the opposite of everything concerned with the way I was raised. See? Yeah, that's you, Doris. Right. Me too. Sylvia said they better make sure they have proof of citizenship on them at all times. Right now is going to be, held to pay. But yeah, he played chess. He played chess while people are looking at all these. See, when you get into the gender equality and all of the LGBT and transgender and open borders, those are open borders is a social thing. But those other things are niches. Those are small little niches that you get to pick up in order to please the crowd or to please the part of the population that you want to vote for you. People are not ready for that. People are not ready for that. Thank you. I can't get past that Trump is morally reprehensible, amongst other things, such as an attack on the Capitol, felon that goes. Let's go now, and that's something that we can't change. How is it that a felon can even run for president? He's been impeached twice. Remember, the law was that any president that has been impeached cannot return back to office, and yet he has returned back to office. A felon is not allowed to vote in our country, yet he's a felon. Not only is he in office and he's been impeached, but he's also not. He also voted. That's a whole nother session. That I don't know how any of that happened. I just don't know. But the opposite of everything concerned with the way I was raised. You got that right. Me too. They better make sure they have proof of citizenship. Yeah. Yeah. So, it's a mess. It's a mess. I'm going to put the StreamYard in here just in case anyone wants to come on and speak about what they're feeling. But it's definitely a mess. But I primarily just wanted to point out that, we have to get past that, the country failed us, or, our Asian, our Latina and Black men failed us. No one failed us. They did what they had to do for themselves. Self-preservation is the first rule of law. You put the oxygen on your face before you put it on your child. You cannot be okay unless you make yourself okay first. So people voting in regard to their own self-interest is where it really is at. That's what people are supposed to do. We're not supposed to do anything else other than that. Hold on a minute. Dalma said, I see them asking us for monthly assistance for Jews, and I don't have anything against anyone, but most Jews are doing well and can take care of their own people. Right. You listen, and that falls in line with voting. You get to vote and you get to give according to your own self-interest. You can say no to Jews. You can say no to whoever. You can give to yourself. You can give according to what you value in your cause. It's not wrong. Eventually they will, because we're getting closer and closer. We're just not there yet. They just got a Black man. He just did 2 terms. They're like, okay, give us a moment to swallow that, because that was a lot. You know what I'm saying? And as wrong as that appears, it's just the way society is. It's just the way society is. But like I said, I believe that we need to get out of our comfort zone of thinking that everyone is supposed to value what we value, that our family members are supposed to value what we value. Remember when Trump won the last time? You know how many families separated? And this is why I don't speak politics. This is why I don't speak politics with my wife, really, not even with nobody. First of all, my wife is very passionate about it. Okay. And she will go back and forth with you. I don't like that. I don't like it with anyone because it's too divisive. It's always what you should. Oh, really? So you believe? It's like people have a right to believe whatever it is they believe. My wife and her brother have 2. He's a Republican. She's a Democrat. They can't even talk about politics because of the opposing views. It's never good to do that. It's like, let people do it, whatever it is they want to do. Well, he's voting for a pig. That monster, that mother. They're not voting for the monster. They're voting for what they want. You got to separate that. Just because what they want comes in the hands of a monster doesn't mean that they're voting for the monster. They're voting for what the monster got in his pocket. They're voting for a closed border. They're voting not to have transgender surgeries shoved down their throat as a law. They're voting against, women being in office. They're voting against all those things because it lines up with their core values of what they value in their life. They're voting for traditional relationships because that's what they prefer. Does it mean that they're wrong? No. They have a right. They have a free will to vote for whoever it is they want to vote for. They have not vote for whoever. They have a free will to vote for their self-interest. That's what they were doing. And the majority spoke and majority won. The majority of our country feel the way Trump feels about division. They do believe that there's black and white, and that the black is the lesser than the whites. They do believe that. He is the face of our nation. I've been saying this. I said this so many times. I said it in 2016 when he won. He represents the face of our nation, the majority of our nation. He represents them. His thought process represents them, and he played on it, and he knew it. He's smart that way. He's a Gemini. Like me, he's smart. Though he's a monster, but he's smart. He knew which side to play. He knew how to play this game. Right. And so it's up to us to push. It's up to us to push for what we value. It's up to us to continue to fight for what we value, for what we want to see in this world. I don't understand why they think Republicans are good for the economy. They tear it up, and the Democrats has to fix it all the time. Then the Republicans take the credit. That's a matter of perspective for a lot of people. A lot of people, I don't think the economy is a Republican issue. I think they were leaning more towards the idea of bringing jobs back here, on the idea of charging tariffs, whatever you call that thing. Like I said, I'm not too political. I'm not really familiar with all the terms that they use, but putting tariffs or whatever that word is, that on on the other countries or whatever the case may be. People are more interested in what goes in their pocket than what the man is saying out of his mouth. They value more what he has to offer than who he is. And them voting for him is not because he's a monster. It's because he represents what they really are feeling. And he's willing to bring about he's promising some type of change that's going to enhance their life. Yeah, he did. And unfortunately, Joe Biden, became a bit incompetent. He has some cognitive things going on. So, that put him out of it. You know what I mean? Had he ran against Joe Biden, if Joe Biden was in his full thinking mental capacity, would Joe Biden have won? We don't know. Joe Biden was pretty old. And the idea of Joe Biden going another 4 years would have put him well into his 80s. And that's a lot. That's a lot. I think personally there should be an age cap when you're running for president. I think you shouldn't be no older than 60. And by the time you retire out of the house, you should be still in your 60s. I don't think you should be 80 years old. So that's my perspective on it. We have to become more acceptance of how people vote. We have to be more acceptance of how people in our family vote. We have to be more acceptance of it. We can't be judgmental and we can't be selfish, because every vote belongs to each person. They get to vote the way that they get to vote, and they have a right to do that. Yeah, I believe a cap should be put on age when it comes to being a president. No one over 70 should be running. I don't think so. And I don't know that 70s are still young. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it needs to be, and you need to be younger. A lot of things happen in people's 70s. They get sick. You know what I mean? The cognitive starts going down sometimes. So. Oh, so Facebook user, you're Sylvia Lee. Nicole says, so they are okay with women and children being taken advantage of and carrying and get children, women and children being taken advantage of, having to carry that stigma. Those women and children are their family members. And if they are in agreement of taking away Roe v. Wade, right? Exactly. Then, but see, here's the thing, right? When you put it in that way, you make it seem like they're okay with their family being taken care of. Taken advantage of. and you make it seem as if, you know, those fathers and those brothers don't care about their sisters or their daughters, and that's not true. That's not true. They still vote in reference to what they value. Okay, remember, these are still men. Okay, men don't value the same things women value. They just don't, right? And even if that was a value of theirs, because I'm sure it is, they do care about what happens to their sisters and their daughters. They do care about it, right? But that may be just the one thing that Kamala was pushing when they value something more than when they value that, because they're feeling like this. How often is it that that a woman is going to have an abortion based on her medical condition? That doesn't happen to everyone. It's not the norm where it's like 50-50 or 70-30 or something like that. That happens a lot. But how likely is it to happen in their family? And that's what people are banking on. You know what I'm saying? In all of my life, I've never had to have an emergency reproductive surgery for an abortion. No one in my family has that ever happened to. Well, I can't say that because I don't know everybody's personal business, but what I'm saying is that's not the norm. That's not the norm, you know? So when it's not the norm, people take a chance with that. Well, you know, chances of my daughter having something like that. Now, of course, they're going to learn when their daughter do go through something, and maybe that they would wish that that would have been something that they voted for. But even if they voted for it, doesn't mean that they would have won, because still, that wasn't the whole of America's issue. The whole of America issue was the economy. The whole of America's issue was the border. The whole of America issue was traditional households. And for men, those things are important. And yes, it's more important than this, because this is not a guarantee that a woman is going to suffer because of abortion rights. So the gamble is like, okay, if I have to take a gamble, what are the chances of this happening to my daughter or my sister? And as a man, what do? Do I lend my vote to my daughter? Or do I do what I have to do to be the man of my home, to be able to take care of my home and to raise my children in a traditional way? So if Kamala Harris is only having that issue that they want, yeah, I want my daughters and my wives and my sisters and my wives to be okay in their reproductive health. But that's the only thing I want from that side. Trump has all the other stuff that I want. So then what do? Do you lend your vote to your sister, or do you vote in your self-interest, doing everything you can to protect your sisters or your daughter or your daughters? That's what it really boils down to. I think we personalize it in that way and say, oh, so you don't care what happens to me? That's taking it personal. This is not personal. This is business. I believe Trump also have some cognitive issues and some, yes, there is health issues that we have. Child, that's clear. Thelma said, my son and I don't discuss politics because each of our beliefs. So I told, I don't care who you vote for, just vote. Do not vote and then complain. There you go. There you go. Hey, Angela. Angelic Angela. Nicole said, I don't believe that they aren't, I don't believe that they aren't in agreement. And who's to say? It's not the norm. What's not the norm? Oh, well, because we think about it. I mean, what's normal in our society? We know that 1 in every 3 people be getting cancer. We know that's a fact, right? There's a lot of norms that we can go by. We have to go by what you, being in your 50s, have come to, like, what is the norm? You know what I'm saying? What are the chances? Now, it may be the norm in some families. Well, hell, you're probably right. It may be more normal than what we're perceiving it be. What I'm saying is that it's still a chance that men are willing to take. It's still a chance that men are willing to take. People go by history. They go by what is in their family. And people choose accordingly. And they say, wait a minute. Reproductive rights? Yeah, I'm all for that. But again, when it comes down to it, do they care more about reproductive rights than they care about their own things that they want from Trump that's on the other side? And that's what it boils down to. Do they lend their vote to the women in their family, which means they deprive themselves of what they really want? Or do they go and vote in their self-interest and what they value, which is within their right to do? There's casualties of war in every decision. Somebody's going to suffer from something. Hey, Lily. Yeah, so people are going to suffer regardless. There's going to always be casualties of war in every decision. My whole main objective is the expectation of someone lending their vote for your best interest. If you're a woman and this is a man, he gets to vote according to his values. I don't care if he's your son or your father or your brother or your grandpa. Right? Now, if you get another black woman, it's LGBT black woman who's still young and who also have daughters, and now she's voting for Trump. It's like, what are you getting out of that? He's against LGBT. He's against the rights. What are you getting? What are you getting from that? Then you question, like, what the hell are you doing over there? Like, it doesn't make sense. Please tell me what it is you want from him. Because that's a conversation that I want to have. What do you want from him? You're black, you're a woman, you're LGBT, and you have daughters. What do you want from that side of the fence? But as a man, I can't question a man because my values as a woman and as a black LGBT woman is way different than what a man values. He doesn't have the experience of being me. He doesn't have the experience of being a woman. He has an experience of being LGBT. He gets to vote according to how he's going to vote, and he gets to do it without judgment. And that's the problem. People judge. And that's why all the secret voters came in. That's the whole point of the secret voters. They didn't have the courage to tell their families that they wanted to vote for Trump. Because that's a damn hard conversation to have. Hey, Gloria. That's a hard conversation to have. That's a hard conversation to have. And people don't want to hear it. I've seen so many people. Remember when Trump got elected in 2016? Remember we found out that the pillow guy was also on Trump's side. Everybody was like, ban the pillow guy. And then we found that that Goya was also supporting Trump. And then all the Latina and everybody that used Goya said, let's boycott Goya. We're not going to use Goya anymore. I said, the hell I ain't. I'm going to use my Goya adobo, my Goya. So I was not willing to part with my damn Goya because somebody decided to vote for Trump. And because they voted for Trump, they made it seem like these people were racist. Because you vote for Trump, you got to be racist. That's not true. The people that are Republicans in my family are not racist. The people in my family that are Republicans do not go around grabbing people's pussies and don't agree with it either. Well, they're going to learn today. That's a hell of a gamble. Yeah, we know in history, women and children have been violated. Oh, yeah. And had to go back, go to the doctor, go to the door and take care of. So for me, no man. Yeah, so have I saying it. You child, I believe, and that's why we're on this side. I believe that. That right there is norm. A girl, look, I forgot who said it. They said, a girl is not safe in the home of men. That's even in your family. We know that there's child molestation going on all over the damn place when it comes to men and their families. From uncles, almost nasty uncles. You know, those nasty brothers sometimes, those nasty cousins, everybody, not even cousins. It's more of those men that's in your family, those uncles, you know what I mean? Those creeps, them fathers even, you know? And so, yeah, that's a hell of a gamble, but we're not talking about that though. Men that are opting for traditional marriages and homes over reproductive rights, that's not what they're talking about. These men feel like they can protect their daughters, especially men that are in the lives of the daughters. You know what I mean? They're not thinking about somebody touching their daughters. The chance of their daughters getting raped, they're taking a chance with that. If their daughter gets raped and something happens and then she needs a reproductive surgery for that, an emergency abortion where she's not going to be able to get, people are willing to gamble. Oh, Sophia said it in color purple. Okay, Sylvia. Lily said a lot of people voted for Trump and they lied they didn't. Why lie? You have the right to vote for whom you want to vote for. So why lie? Just keep it to yourself. That's a private situation. Well, I can answer that. You know why they lied? Because it's a hard conversation. It's one of those conversations one of them hard conversations when you have people in your family that feel very strongly about politics. And I know that, I got people in my family be like, what? You're not Democrat? I'm a Democrat. But when I'm not a Democrat, I'm whatever. I've never voted Republican, but I can't say that I agree with everything Democrats do either. But there's those people in those families, Lily, that's like really hardcore with that. You can't have those conversations. It's this type of conversation that you can't have when you're trying to tell your parents that you've been molested by my father or something. Not my father. I'm just saying in general. It's one of those conversations. People don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear it, especially within this particular election. You got a whole house full of men and you got a wife and you got to come and tell your wife that you're voting against your own daughter's reproductive rights. People can't see past their pain. And so it's a hard conversation to have with people and say, why lie? I can give you a million reasons why to lie. Because people don't want to hear the truth. And my what that guy said, and I'm good, whatever. I forgot that movie. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. That's why people lie. Because people are not willing to deal with the truth. They're not willing to sit there and go, oh, okay, I get that. No, they're gonna say, what? But he's a pig. You know what he's gonna do to our country? You know what's gonna happen? He said that he's going to become a dictator. He's going to do this. They panic. Now, in the perfect world, you can say, oh, I'm voting for Trump because I want A, B, C, D, and E. And they would go, well, I don't agree with you, but you know what? You do have a right to vote for who you want. And I get you, though. But please tell me you don't understand, that you're not with who he is as a person. Because don't you know he's going to destroy the country? Well, I'm willing to take a gamble. I think he's going to bring some good. Okay, let's let the conversation go. That's in a perfect world, child. That don't happen. Where is that going? Where that conversation happening at? Where? Nowhere. It could happen in my household. You know why? Because I know how to set people and let them be who they're going to be. I know how to not judge them on their their decisions. And like I had stated earlier in this conversation, take my son. My son has different values. My son value a traditional marriage. You know what I mean? He has a lesbian mom who's married to a woman. But should I expect him to vote on my behalf and be Democrat just because I have values as a woman? No. I expect him to vote for who he chooses to vote for. Vote according to what he believes and how he decides to run his household. Now, I'm supposed to say, oh, well, forget about your way of raising children. Forget about that. I'm supposed to shove my lifestyle down his throat? No. He lived his whole life with me being a lesbian. And now he's living his life with his mom being married to another woman. He doesn't despise it. But is that how he wants to raise his family? Probably not. And I'm okay with that. Does he want me to be okay? And does he want my rights to be all inclusive? Of course. But if it comes between his views and my views, he's going to choose himself. And I commend him for doing so if he does that. Which I'm sure he did that. He chose himself. He should choose himself. We will see what actually happens because I feel like he was just putting out his chest to win, right? But he's not totally the end. All things are decided in the White House. Yeah. 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 Them secret voters came out. This was a tough election. He was being brutal. He was being too brutal to admit that I'm going to vote for him despite of his pigism. I'm going to vote for him despite of him being a monster. I'm going to vote for him despite of that because he has some things in his pocket that I'm in alignment with, and despite of who he is, I need to vote for what I want out of the deal. So if it's going to be a crook in the office, I'm going to make sure that I get what I want out of that crook. And chances are you might not even get any damn thing. Hey, Yvette. Sophia, Facebook user, you are a couple of people on Facebook. This is a burner page, but okay. Said 2000. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I'm thinking that Facebook user is one person. It's not. Wow. So some of you guys are not coming through on YouTube as your real name, because my wife just came through. And let me look on YouTube, on the regular YouTube, and see how you guys are coming through. Hold on, guys. Oh, so your real names are coming through on regular StreamYard. Okay. Okay. I see. I was about to say Facebook user. I'm like, who is this person? Because it's like I'm seeing you here and I'm thinking you're one user, and then I'm looking on here and I'm seeing Sylvia, I'm seeing Robin, I'm seeing my wife. I'm like, wait a minute. It's just not coming through. Let me look on here and see if my wife's name is coming through on here. I don't even see my wife's name on here. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. So every time this Facebook user said hello, Lena, in chat, I'm thinking that that's one person. Keep on. I'm like, why they keep repeating themselves? I don't know why you guys' pictures are not coming up on the StreamYard in your real names, but damn, that's a glitch. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know who said this. Oh, my wife said that. Project 2025 will be implemented in January. He voted for democracy, he voted for freedom. Hey, Geraldine, I'm sorry that your name is not coming up on here, and that will affect every one of us. Lily, I don't know why some of you guys are coming up. Well, Facebook is not even showing on YouTube, but that's all right. Showing on YouTube, it's just not showing in the chat the name. Then he said he wanted it so no one would have to vote. That being said, I guess the president will pick the next, and that would probably keep the Republicans in. I don't think so. You know why? Because Republicans have lost plenty of time, so have the Democrats. It's just a win-win. This is a win or lose situation. You know, when the Republicans win, they win. You know, the Democrats had the whole House, the Senate, and everything, the presidency, the House, and the Senate at one time, a couple of times. So this is not unusual. You know, this is very common. I don't think he was shocked he won. I think I think he's a strategist. He strategized and he strategized. He used the vision. He used the real concern and the real grievances in people's hearts to win. And like I said, Chris Cuomo said, She said that, he said that Kamala Harris was not running against Trump. And that makes sense. He said she was running against a movement of grievances. And what he meant by that was United States, the majority of grievances. They was against a lot of the things that Kamala was pushing. That's who she was running against. She wasn't running against Trump per se. Trump is just one red dot in the sea of blood of all them reds. He was the voice that was chosen. He said, I'll get up and say what you guys are not willing to say. I'll get up and give you guys what you guys are not willing to ask for. You guys are not willing to say, I don't want gender equality. You guys are not willing. You don't have enough balls to say, I don't want transgender surgery being forced down my throat as a law. You guys are not willing to say that, but I'm willing to say that. And they used him to say that. He used their secret voice. He used division. He used judgment. That's what got him in office. I don't think he was shocked at all. He was very strategic in his dealings. He probably was a bit nervous, but remember, reproductive rights was the biggest issue on the Democratic side. And guess what? Being that women are considered second-class citizens in this world to begin with, that couldn't have won the popular vote because a lot of men don't feel that way. A lot of men don't feel that way. A lot of families don't feel that something like that will have to hit their home and they would have to go through. So it wasn't a major pressing issue in their lives as much as it was in ours. I have to, when you guys are seeing this Facebook user, for some reason it's a glitch. I have to look on my phone to see who is saying that. Exactly. Silver Lee said that. Exactly. Crystal Kennedy. Hey, Crystal. She said, good morning. Another Facebook you see. I can't. It's usually on here. For some reason, it's not. Who is this? Doris Reeves said, I have a problem with anyone restricting someone else's rights. No one is above anyone else, and that they are superior. You got that right. You got that right. I'm against any of that, right? But we have to also understand that we cannot restrict anyone else's right to vote for who they want to vote for either. That goes all together in that pot. So when someone else is voting for something which is against whatever it is we want, we have to be okay with that. But you're absolutely right. That's the whole name of the game. Freedom. Freedom. Wanda McFadden said, Wanda is my real name. No, I know that. I see that. What I'm saying is the Facebook users are coming in as Facebook users. They're not coming in as, who they really are on here. Thelma Jackson said, is Facebook striking because we shared to them? I don't know what you mean. Are they striking? I'm not sure what you mean by that, honey. Nicole said Republicans have had the House more than the Democrats. Well, you know what? Before Nancy Pelosi left, and that's true, it could be more, but what I'm saying is that the Democrats has had the House and the Senate and the presidency. Was it when Obama was there, or was it before? One or the other. I remember they had the House, the Senate, or the Senate was divided. They had the House, the Senate was divided. They had the House, the Senate. No, they had the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So whether it's more or less, I can't get into that battle. I don't really know. You going to the YouTube? Who's going to the YouTube? Let me see. I'm going. Okay, Geraldine, thank you. Because you see your name ain't coming up, even though I got your message on your comment on the screen. Your name is not coming up. That's why I said, everybody, please come to YouTube. Because even my wife, honey, come to YouTube. Because that way we can see who you are. Please come to YouTube. This is my wife, Facebook user. See, honey, why I want you to come to YouTube? You're not even coming up as my wife. You look up the word autocracy, autocracy. I think that's how you spell it. It's a system of government by one person with absolute power. Yeah, that's the fear, but that's not the reality. It may be. We just got to see what happens. I'm the type of person that I don't speak things into existence. And I believe that and that's another thing that I said the other day when it comes to this man, women. Trump, you guys missed it. He knows. He knows. He has mentioned the law of attraction so many times. He knows the power of energy. So while all of his people are voting for him, and then you have everybody on his side in fear of what he's doing, and you're paying attention to everything that he's doing, energy goes where attention flows. You don't get what you want, you get what you focus on. So you're focusing on Trump, even though you don't want him to win. You're actually giving him the spiritual power to win by focusing on all the things that you believe is going to come to pass through his presidency. And that's why things come to pass. That's partial reason why. I'm just saying. But babe, come to YouTube so we can see who you are, because I can't see who you are on here. He said, yep. We have Republicans and Democrats who weren't supporting their own party. Right. That's why I said, with all these damn sides, you know what I'm saying? Republicans are not always Republicans and Democrats are not always Democrats. It depends on the season. Look, it depends on the season in the potato salad. You know what I mean? That's what it is. That's what it is. There you go. Now I see your face. There you go. Someone said Facebook don't like politics on pages. Well, that's why I'm saying everybody come to YouTube. There you go. Now I'm seeing everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Lonnie said, babe, can you please come to Facebook? I mean, come to YouTube.
I'm coming to your office.
Well, come to YouTube, honey.
I am on YouTube.
No, you're on.
No, I'm not. I just said hi to everybody on YouTube.
Oh, look, cussing out. Oh, there you go.
Hey, everybody.
You want to sit or no?
I'll sit. I need to sit.
Thelma said, Lonnie, get over here with us. We love you.
What's up, Thelma? What's up, everybody? You call autocracy a fear? It's not.
No, I didn't call it a fear. I'm calling what you speak into existence. I'm speaking your fears. When you say, I know this is what he's going to do, this is what he's going to do, this is what he's going to do.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone on the news, media,
Shouldn't watch the news.
even on his side, is already preparing for it. What do you think Project 2025 is?
I understand that. But again, we don't get what we
of changes
that he might not that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You see, we don't speak. Sorry.
They made a whole book for
It's a mandate project
of policies that he is going to follow, because he is not a policy man. He doesn't know nothing about policies. But anything that goes on his side, he'll go for. So that book was 1,000 pages of policies that will be pushed onto us. And not only that, we're about to go into classes on how to be on the autocracy country.
And so here's my view with that. Okay, you see how she speaks, right? You see how she speak? She speak as if he has all the power in the world to do everything. And that no, that is not true. If he did, Nixon would have done it. You see what I'm saying? Nixon wasn't different. He idolized Nixon. Nixon was a pig, and Nixon got away with crap and breaking the laws too. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is this, okay? The Republicans have had the House and the Senate and the presidency more than 1 to 2 times before, right? And if they wanted to push everything, no one has the power to push everything. That's why you have Democrats there in that Senate also, okay? Decisions still have to be made. Not every Republican is a diehard Republican for everything, which is why a lot of Republicans have moved away from Trump. They weren't willing to do it. You see? And you're going to see that kind of divide somewhere in the House too, because even though the Republicans have the Senate, there are some Republicans in that Senate that's kind of straddling the fence when it comes to Trump too. They're not all diehard loyalists. Those people that's in the Senate has been in the Senate. That's all I'm saying. So when you talk about they're going to try, they're going to put, this is what's going to happen. It's a difference between something happening and what they intend or pushing. So I prefer to use the language, this is what they want, rather than this is what they're going to do, because you can't do nothing without permission. You cannot. You cannot. Every president, and this is from political analysts. They all say he does not have the power to do everything when he's a pup. No, you get one big thing done, and then everything else has to pass a bill. It's not that easy. But with news will exaggerate every single situation and put hellfire and damnation in your heart. And then all you have is hell, fire, and damnation. And then you come with a mindset that says, that's what's going to happen to us. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. That's why I don't watch news like that. That's why I don't go with all that hellfire and damnation. You know how many politicians come with a book that things that they want to pass, and they get one or two things passed? I know for you it is different, and I get that. But again, having somebody with the intention of doing something that they will not only do spiritually add to the power, because you don't get what you want, you get what you focus on, but in your mind, you're separated from flesh, and you're saying, well, this is going to happen because it's going to happen. And when it happens, you don't think that you had an input in that because you're rooting for that secretly. Yeah, you are. You're agreeing is rooting for it. When you agree with something by saying that it's definitely, you agreeing that it's going to happen. That's the spiritual aspect of it. You're adding your energy to, you're giving up and saying this is definitely going to happen.
I'm definitely not giving up.
What you're saying is definitely going to happen.
I'm definitely not giving up. But what I am saying is that there's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a big fight.
Thank you. Say a fight.
And well, that wasn't part of it. I'm just telling you.
You didn't say that. You said this is definitely going to happen. Instead of saying it's going to fight. Let's.
That is what they want. And
say that. Thank you.
He does not have the power, not yet. But this is the plan for them.
Right. Thank you. I like that language. Plan. I like plan. I like fight. I like what he wants. I don't come to me saying what's gonna happen to me. No.
Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Lily Coleman. We're about to fight. This is about to go on. I am going to become an activist. And it ain't gonna be no Martin Luther King type of activist, because he was too nice. We can't be nice.
Did you make me breakfast? You made your breakfast? Did you make me any?
Some sausage there. You want me to make?
See how we do? Let me make a whole meal for myself and let that be helpful.
I took a shower after I picked up thousands of leaves out there.
You didn't pick anything up. You was mowing the leaves.
No, anyway.
Wait a minute. That's what I'm saying exactly happens will be a lot different from the hellfire and brimstone. Lord have mercy. What you say that? Delma said that's what I'm saying. What actually happens will be a lot different from all the hellfire and brimstone. Lord. Delma said, let's go, Lonnie.
Let's go, Delma. It's on and popping, baby. We got to get activated. We have to. And you know what's crazy? That half of the young people, I mean, they gave a number. I don't remember the number. A lot of the young people have voted for Trump. So this is what they want. The American people have spoken. We can't be mad at that.
You can't be mad at people's votes.
No, I'm not mad at that. I don't like the results. I did cry for 2 days. I was upset. We do have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna be easy, and it's gonna be hard for a lot of people, especially if they implement it in 2025, because that's gonna hurt a lot of people. We already have poverty, high levels of poverty here in America. Low education for our people, and if you take away public schools and public programs for the poor people, it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. But we can't give up.
And see like that with me. See, I'm on a fence with stuff like that because again, it goes back to you taking your family and your power into your own hands. First of all, I truly believe that you know what, our children should not be subjected to society schools anyway because they don't teach what we want our children to teach. We should be teaching our children. But I understand that a lot of us are working homes and we can't afford to do all those things. Well, then it goes back to, are you ready to have children? Are you ready to have children then? Because that's going to the core of it, you know? That's going to the core of it. You can't have children, not have a plan, not to be home to teach your children. But not a lot of people believe in that also. So when it comes to education, I'm not saying, listen, the minute some Trump Bible get implemented in school, my grandson is being taken out. I am willing to homeschool my grandchild because guess what? I don't agree with a lot of what the teachers are teaching anyway. And guess what? The only thing that really matters when it comes to education is your fundamental teachings, your reading, your math, and all those things. Social studies, no. English literature, no. All those things I want to implement in my grandson, or if I could have done it in my children when I had the chance, I would have loved to implement a lot of my African American history. Do you know on Martin Luther King's Day, my grandson came home and said he didn't who was Martin Luther King? They didn't even tell him who that was in his school. We told him, and I said we had to tell him. Well, guess what? I wasn't mad at this school. I was mad at myself. Why haven't we prepared my grandson to know who Martin Luther King is before the day came? I take stuff like that personal. No, that's on me. That's on me. And when it comes to being impoverished, I have a mixed view about that also. You know, I get that the elderly people who are older, people who have already lived their lives and don't have a way or a means to transform their lives in a way that's going to be financially feasible for them. I get that. I get that. But listen, when it comes to the tax bracket, they saying, "Oh well, the tax bracket we want it for the rich." That inspires me to become rich. I don't need anybody to come down to my level. If anything, it inspire us to go up and reach that bracket to where if a tax bracket is for a certain class of people, which is unfair, I get it. But if it's for that certain class of people, then why don't you work on reaching that certain bracket to where when the tax brackets come, it's not going to affect you? See, I believe in eliminating the power away from people that's going to affect me, and that's just me.
Okay, that tax bracket, that's what you'd like to get up there. That goes for a lot of other stuff like education.
Education bullcrap.
Listen,
Entrepreneurship will get you there.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on. Let me finish. Entrepreneurship, yes.
The hell, you got people on Facebook making $70,000 a month.
Hold on. Can you hold on just a second? See, make me mess up my train of thought. You know, my train of thought is short. My train is short. The bus is short.
Your bus is not short, honey. You're smart, brilliant, outstanding.
It's hard to get to that six digit bracket. Okay, that 400,000, that 600. There's a lot of blockage there for Black and brown people. Lots of blockage.
What's blocking it? What's blocking it?
Folks.
Who's blocking your success? You got a free will. And who? How? Give me an example.
I'll give you a name.
Trump. How is Trump affecting Trump? Can I say something? Can I say? How are they affecting your? How they are affecting people that has? No, they put blockages on Social Security and stuff. They don't have the power to put blockages on your personal business. It's up to you to push your personal business. Kaleidoscope, Brat and Judy and her wife. Where's the blockage in that? Where's the blockage in Beyonce? Where's the blockage in Denzel Washington? Wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. The Brat is not a Noah person, okay? The Brat is not a Noah person.
The Brat isn't involved with
Kaleidoscope is not a damn, that's that conspiracy. No. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something, okay? Let me just tell y'all something. You hear that view, right? If you believe that any exterior sources have the power to diminish your power, you are not only deceived, but you are self-destructed. that means that you will never have anything. If I have to rely on financial stability, which is, first of all, is the whole reason why I got out of the workforce, because I believed in my own potential to earn money more than I was making at the post office, more than I was making at Children Family Services. I didn't want to go for a, wait a minute. I didn't want to go for a retirement plan. You know why? Because I didn't want to rely and reduce. Now, it would have been nice for me to go for retirement in addition to what I have going on and what I plan for myself. But to put my own comfort of life into the hands of somebody else, kill me now. If I have to put my health in the hands of anybody else, kill me. Wait a minute. Kill me now. Because guess what? If my health is determined by modern medicine, if my health is determined and out of my control, if it got out of my control, it's because I put it, I allowed it to get out of control by what I chose to eat and put in my body. I can never allow this. Oh, wait a minute, all of that society stuff. Oh, they keeping a black man down. They keeping us from earning money. No, speak for yourself. They kept you from earning money because you relied on them for your money. Not everybody relies on the government or anybody for their money. So you cannot say that Trump is stumping my growth.
What do you think food stamps and
you shouldn't be on food stamps.
Some people are because they have no choice.
They have no choice. And because they have,
can I speak? You're yelling.
Because they have, you're not gonna leave, because they have no choice. I get that there's people that have no choice, but who put them in that situation? Not the government. People are not willing to use their full thinking. People are not willing to use their full thinking ability and tap into their own power to create generational wealth for their family. We all have the opportunity to do so, except for our ancestors. Now go. Please, ain't gonna get you out of hell. Go ahead, I'm listening, babe.
My father, for example.
Thank you, Francis, for 50 stars.
He did not finish school. But in those days, in the 50s and 40s, there was what do you call those? There was you could build stuff here in America. So you had your companies that were building stuff here. So people that were able to get jobs, they were able to feed their families. We didn't grow up on welfare or food stamps or nothing like that.
I did.
But hold up, you're young. You're younger than I am.
I sure am. You are.
My parents worked in factories. That's what I was doing. In fact, create money and make money and feed us. So, and then what the government did was the people that couldn't make it, because a lot of people was being freed out. Schools were being open to black people before black people go to school, and they broke that barrier. But what did they do? They put us in freaking projects. They wanted to keep us all in one place. I'm going back and all I'm saying is it's not easy when you're in the system. You grew up in that system, and then there's nothing else to grab onto. You have to get a higher education. You can't afford a higher education. If you want to become an entrepreneur, okay, you start on something. It's not easy to get up in the 6 digits as an entrepreneur.
Who said life's supposed to be easy?
All I'm saying,
okay, it's hard. So what? Right.
Listen, you just seem like all you have to do is become an entrepreneur. You get back into the 60s.
That's not how I'm making it seem. What I'm saying.
That's what you're making it seem.
All right.
People that are coming up and trying to make it.
No, we not.
All I'm saying is
you might have to get a job.
All I'm saying, Social Security may be cut.
And if they cut,
so what? I don't know if there's nothing. I know how to work though.
We don't. Well, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. We're not totally reliant on no daggone Social Security. You just happen to get that, and you get that with your retirement. But we're not living hand to mouth, and Social Security is everything. Not general population, not older people. Yeah.
I'm talking about America, older people, sick people. You know, I mean, it's hard. You just create wealth
Yeah. Now listen. You see how she just spoke, right? You can't create wealth. Bullshit. I'm a mindset coach. You can. I'm not talking about them. But wait a minute. I had already made adjustments for them. I said the people who are already on those programs, who are already on the age of their lives where they are older and now they cannot transition, that was a whole different conversation. I'm talking about society, and trust me, the older people are not the majority, right? The older people are not the majority in that sense. I'm talking about, I don't mean it where, okay, just go out and be an entrepreneur. What I mean by that is tap into your own thinking and potential. Tap into what you know resonate with you and what you came here to give to the world. People go to jobs, and I know that jobs are good, right? Jobs are good. But guess what, people? If everybody took all the jobs off the market, then what would you do? What happened in 2020 when the world was shut down for 2 years, okay? People started creating crazy content, selling earrings online. Everybody became an entrepreneur, right? Now, when you talk about this, they're making thousands of dollars on Facebook still. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are, because once your channel blows up, it blows up. Once you tap into a niche that everybody wants, then that's what it is. That's a business. Now, when you talk about it's hard to make six figures, are you kidding me? My son makes six figures. It's not hard to make six figures. Hey, wait a minute. He went to school for that. Okay? He went to school for that. How many? Wait a minute. That's just for engineering. But what about all the niches that are outside of the workforce? What about that? What about cooking? You don't need a higher education to cook. What about sewing? You don't need a higher education to sew and make clothes. What about fashion? You don't need an education to be in fashion.
Well, actually,
no, you don't. No, you don't.
Money, yes.
No, you don't. They're not looking at your education. They're looking at your skill.
In order to get your name up there, yes.
Anyway, when you have limited thinking, guys, I'm speaking to you guys as a coach. When you have limited thinking, when you think that your success, that everything that you can accomplish is dependent upon the outside world and what somebody can allow you to do or give you, you are a lost cause and just may as well lay back and consider your life done. Because let me tell you something. If I thought like that, I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to be here. I wouldn't want to be here. Life is not worth living if it's contingent upon a person giving you something. Okay? No, you do have the ability to acquire wealth. Would it be hard? Yes, life is hard. Okay? Life is hard, but you can absolutely do it. You can tap into your gifts and you can make your life what it is now. There are people who are kind of stuck in a bracket to where they can't even succeed. They have messed up, they have squandered their chances, or they weren't given the chances. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know how many immigrants came here when her father came here who now have financial wealth because they did something different. They had a different idea. They made something work. They opened up a business later on. They came together with their families, but people don't always have people to come together with either. But, we're not talking about him. We're talking about your father and people on our end. We're not talking about anything with the rich.
His grandparents were very poor, and they made it out of that poor system.
Okay.
But they have one thing going for them.
What?
The color of their skin.
Okay. No, but that's not true nowadays. It's not true nowadays. How many rich Black people do you know? I know quite a few. I know thousands. I see thousands. I see thousands. Black people. So then what is our excuse? What is the difference between one rich Black person and another rich Black person? One of them used their full thinking ability and the other one blamed society and didn't go nowhere. That's the difference. You cannot tell me that you're more gifted than I am, or that you have the ability and I don't, and that the world is something me, but it ain't something you. No, if you can do it, I want to know how you did that, because if you can do it, I can do it. Everyone becomes crooks.
So,
you can learn a skill.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
You can learn a skill. What the hell? No, I'm talking to her.
You definitely can learn a skill. That's very important. People definitely get off their butts and find a job. Because there's a lot of people that are not working out there because they've had the system on their side. So when the American people start having to live a certain way because the way of democracy have changed, we're gonna have to find another way to survive. And we're definitely gonna be in survival mode.
And you should be always. You should have started out in
We should
survival
have
mode.
always been in survival.
You should never rely on anyone. But unfortunately, that's not how our society is. I say you have two lives. The one that you was born into, that you have no way out, that you have no, that you're not responsible for, and then the one that you create for yourself as you become an adult. Okay, you shouldn't be stuck into ways that you were born. You shouldn't be stuck into the way that your family was born into. You shouldn't be stuck or grounded into any way. What you should do is everybody have the equal opportunity to make life what they will, and no one is void of that power. Wait a minute, hold on a minute. Let me see. Ask them how it is to get a loan from a bank. Right. Now those are barriers, but guess what? Guess what? Get yourself to the place where you don't need a loan from the bank. A matter of fact, how about you get yourself to a place where you can open up a bank on your own, a black-owned bank to make it easy for other people of color? See, those are the answers. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a rug puller for despair. Okay, I got an answer for despair. You know what I'm saying? With in the world of boundaries, hold on a second, one more thing. In the world of boundaries, okay, where there are boundaries and walls put up in front of you, you have to find a way to transcend those walls. That's the answer. Because in waiting for the world to come around to your way of thinking, and waiting for the world to come around to giving you something, it's not going to work. We live in a racist world. We live in a world of division. So our only opportunity right now is to go and rise above those boundaries and say, I'm going to put myself in that bracket. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to get my family together and generate generational wealth. I'm going to open up a bank so where I don't have to ask for a loan. I am the damn loan. Go ahead, baby.
I want to ask the people that are in your life right now, how many black-owned banks do you know, and are you participating in them?
Almost impossible task. I hear it too, but I don't agree with that mindset. Like I said, kill me now if I got to rely on the government or anybody for my well-being. I may use them as a crutch, okay? But that ain't where I'm ended up. It doesn't matter how hard some people's try, they still need help. Right, you need help, but reach out to get that help. But don't say it's impossible. Her theory is it's impossible. Or it's so hard that you just gotta rely. So what? You was in the military. Your position was hard. Are you afraid of hard?
No,
but I'm just saying. Hard. I mean, you act like hard is a disease.
No, I'm not. No.
I mean, hard should be okay.
It was never easy for me. Trust me.
Right. So hard is okay then. I know quite a few people that have black-owned banks, but no, I don't utilize them. Well, right. So instead of complaining, the thing that you're complaining about, open it up. Do what you got to do. You know how many people, black people, squander money? They buying $300 damn Jordans. You think black people don't have the money to open up businesses? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Huh?
That's what I did with my stimulus. I mean, I did buy the Jordans. I'm talking about the stimulus check.
Yeah.
That was a joke. That was a waste of American money.
No, you got what you wanted, but listen, we're living it. We're living the way that we live. You are able to get the things that you want.
Give you some money, and you could go spend it as you please. Basically, is what they're saying. Stimulate the economy.
Well, and like I said, who said that? Do you have an Aunt Deetra? Like I said, who said life is easy? You know how hard it is to be a black woman in this world? All I'm saying, that's all I'm saying. Because, and I only say that, when you say, well, we can't get a $500,000 loan. Become the bank. see it's an answer for something. They say, well, you know how hard it is to become a bank? Well, people have done it.
How easy is it for anybody to start a credit line and keep that credit line safe where you're able to make loans or ask for loans?
Easy.
Not easy.
Easy. It's not easy for you. You speak for yourself. All I'm saying is you speak for yourself. It's not easy for you. It's only, listen, it's only hard for people who live above their damn means. It's only hard for people who live above their means.
I keep my credit cards paid.
Okay, so
But I'm talking about other people. You see,
what? What? You're talking about other people what?
I'm gonna get there.
Mhm.
That's one thing they don't teach us in school about finances and how to keep your finances straight. And they teach you math and all that stuff, but they don't teach you the smartness behind how to keep credit scores down, how to keep the money that you make.
That's not their interest. That's not their interest. And it's not their responsibility. It's not their responsibility though. But it's not, but your parents should want you to be good in life. So that was your parents' responsibility. Well, then that's their parents' responsibility. Right. But guess what? You cannot go by what you was raised with. You have to use your own thinking ability as an adult and find out how to do those things. So we cannot blame our childhood for all the stuff that we're in right now.
I know how to do it only because I have to learn on my own.
And life is the best lesson.
And doing something wrong.
I love life. Life goes like this.
Yeah, but life kicks in when adulthood kicks in at 40 and up.
Hell no, kicked in for me at 20 something.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I had my hardest lessons in my damn 20s, honey. When I got to my 40s, I was breezing.
I had my hardest lessons
in my 30s. Yeah, okay, so then there ain't no damn 40s. If you're in your 40s and still learning hard lessons, you shouldn't have your shit together. No, you shouldn't. That's putting boundaries. People need longer time. People start later. People are born with different situations. So sometimes people start late. No, I'm not making excuses. We're saying that you should be in a certain way, and that's judgment. That's saying that everybody, every child should be ready to leave home at 18. That's not true. Not everybody's ready for the world at freaking 18 years old. Not every parent has taught their child, street smarts at 18. You put your children out when you know that they are ready to conquer this world, when you know that they have all the tools.
Says if it's easy, it's not worth having. Tell that.
Thank you.
You tell that to the rich people. If it's easy, it's not worth having.
You think they got it easy?
Oh hell yeah! Trump did. Trump had a golden spoon in his mouth the whole time.
Well, no. You just said it. You just said it yourself. Trump came from poor parents.
He came from poor grandparents.
Grandparents, right?
Grandparents helped his dad, and his
dad
ended up helping him. And when he died, he gave him all the money he ended up.
Not that he ended up with. Trump was broke, got bankruptcies 8 or 9 times.
Yeah, but he kept lying through it.
Well, whatever it is. But this is not even about Trump anymore. Trump minded. All I'm saying is that ain't no way in the world have I ever believed, even as a child, and I was raised poor. I was raised poorer than her. Okay, she had 3 meals a day. I didn't. We may have had one. I had a shelter.
The third meal was at lunch.
Yeah, well then that sometimes we only have one, and that was a school. That's how poor I grew up.
Stop yelling at me.
Who? Okay, and so even with my mother raising 6 kids on her own, and we growing up impoverished and not having enough to eat and not having clothes and not having what everybody have, how do I end up with this mindset? Because I refuse to believe that my well-being is in the hands of any government. It's just not. I have to follow and abide by certain laws, yes, but when it comes to my financial cap, absolutely not. I'm a late bloomer. I started late. Okay, so. No, it's not hard. It's not hard.
Mm-mm. You have been blessed with the ability to write and be an author. And
I don't think that's blessed.
What do you call it?
I call it, I tapped into my niche. I found
Okay,
out,
yeah,
I searched my soul to find out what I'm good at. And I never liked to write. I just happened to have an interest and I decided to write about it. Everybody can do that, baby. It's just that
I'm talking about being an author. I can't be an
Oh.
author.
No, you can't be an author, but you can tap in to see what it is you're good at. I bet you if you lost all your stuff right now, you would have to tap into something.
Yeah, I'm a worker. I'll do anything as a job and make money.
Well, first of all, we'll open up a strip club for 60 and over.
There you go. Put me on the pole again.
I'm putting you on the pole. She is valuable.
Shut up.
Okay, she is untouched and valuable. We can really make some money.
I'm about to do
You're providing nonchalant answers to real problems. No, I'm providing real answers, and this is not nonchalant. It's my true beliefs, honey. I don't know who's saying. Let me see your. Oh, Deetra, my girl. It's easy to do this and that. No, but the thing is, Deetra, I didn't say it was easy. What I said is hard. But what I'm telling you is that it's possible. And if we have to give those ideas to our children, if I have to tell my grandson at this age, you know what? It's hard. Life is just so hard, and you're gonna need government assistance, and you're gonna have to rely on that sometime. And you can't. Wait a minute, wait a minute, and what if I told my grandson, you really can't really get too far because the government is gonna hold you down. No, that's no longer true too much right now.
Although children do listen to conversations when adults are talking, they're talking like that.
That's right. Thank you. I love it. Talk like me, think like me, because I offer possibility and hope. I'm sorry.
Because my parents always spoke to us about getting an education. We pushed school, but we pushed it.
My mother pushed school too, but guess what? You know how much of your schooling did you use? College is a scam these days. The only college.
I ended up using all of it because I left college
and went to the army,
thinking that I was with education. And when I joined the military, that's exactly what they did. They sent me back to school to get a niche
because you had a skill, right? And that's what. But that was within the army, right? That's within the army. But college right now is a damn scam for most of it. You need college for three things. Well, not three things, probably a few more. To be a lawyer, to be a doctor, to be a nurse, to be an engineer, whatever. All of that other niches that they have in school, you're wasting all that money on nothing. And guess what? A lot of people that went to college for certain niches ended up not even using their education. They use it for a short period of time, but in their later life, they tapped into something different and they're no longer using that degree. They're using something else. And I know a lot of people who are doing that. So
that's why a lot of people from different countries like Africa, they come to America, they come to get an education, and they go for the higher education like doctors, lawyers, science,
or opening up their businesses.
Or open up their businesses. But when I'm talking about education, because I saw a documentary. That's exactly what they said. Their parents is like pushing that higher education, which is awesome. Because a lot of times people push their kids to go to college, but they don't push them to know exactly what they want from that education. Oh, liberal arts. That's the worst.
That's money down the damn drain.
Yeah, that's like
who the hell is a liberal arts? I didn't force college on my children. I said go to college when you find out what it is you really want to do. The last thing you want to do, people like to force college on kids and say when you're 18, go straight to college. And they don't even know what the hell they're going to do. And then they end up getting into college and wasting all that money and all that time and not end up doing exactly what they went to college for. But my kids, listen, my son went to college. My daughters went to college. My daughters are nurses and my son is an engineer. They needed it for that.
I went to college on volleyball scholarship. So my parents didn't have to pay for school. The scholarship paid for it.
Well, when we're talking about, I'm sorry, Deidre, when we're talking about education, I don't mean that people don't need math and English and science. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I don't mean that, education, don't have none. I don't mean it in that way. I mean, we need an education. But what I'm saying is you don't need an education to develop a skill. You don't need an education to tap into a specific niche, something that you truly, value or want to do in this world. And there's a lot of niches in this world that you don't need an education for. You can get a certification for it. I'm certified. That's not a accredited education. If you plan on working for somebody, or if you plan, I mean, certifications, getting a license, yeah, you need that, of course. Of course. Lisa said, "Hey, Lonnie, I'm back only for a few." Yeah. So you see how our mindsets differ. You see that, right? And we get along. And I'm glad that we have a balance of hither and whither. Because if I was all with how she thought, not that she's thinking bad, but we need balance. If I was all on how she thought, child, I'd be sitting over here like, yeah, there's no hope. Mm-hmm.
I don't believe there's no hope. I believe in hope. I believe in prayer. I believe in fighting for your rights. I believe in a lot of things that's going to get us to where we're going to get, or what we're going to get from this world. I believe in this country. I believe in the American people.
American people just spoke.
Well, and that's okay, and they're hoping so. They are also hoping.
They have their self-interest. Yeah.
It's interesting because I went across the street and I shook hands with my supporter across the street, John. I said, hey, I know you're happy. I said, congratulations, America spoke. He goes, hey, man, he was so excited. He goes, I'm excited. Things are gonna get better. Things are gonna get better for us. We're gonna be able to afford stuff. And I mean, that is his belief. He believes that things will get better for us.
But it's a shame that he's relying on the government to do it. It's a shame that he's relying on somebody in politics for things to get better in his life. Now, I mean, when it comes, because you mentioned in affording things, right? When it comes to that. Now, I believe in when it comes to the presidential or whatever, you rely on them to implement certain laws that'll make your life better, like, I don't know, the border crossings, or just taxes or whatever, thing like that. But yeah, okay. But to say, think now I'm going to be able to afford everything. No, you fell short.
Well, they're
He has, yeah, well, they're doing okay. Yeah, when you have to work, they both work. They both have to work, though.
Yes.
They both have to work. And the goal is to get people not to work. Well, that is the goal.
You talking about being an entrepreneur, though. Making money is the goal.
Making money is the goal.
Okay, you can make money without working.
And having a wife to take care of all your needs. That's not why I'm with you,
I got
honey.
life insurance, baby. We're good. I got
you. Anyway, what is Deidre said? You don't need it for a skill. However, if you plan on owning your business or doing a niche, you better learn accounting, marketing. Yeah, those are, yes. Educating yourself in those things. Yes, I'm with you on that. I just thought you meant something else, like we got to go to college and get degrees. No. Yeah. Hell yeah, you better know some damn math. Thelma said, when I was younger, let me see when this comment was. Okay, Thelma said, when I was younger, I needed assistance, but me too. But I was proud to apply for it, and I ran and so I ran an illegal gambling establishment.
A lot of people did that. I mean,
that my white gay females introduced me to, but I was smart with it. You see? Listen. Oh man, no, listen. That's what you call the hustle. Listen, my family. I grew up in a family doing freaking what do you call it? Card parties. You come in and you playing them spades in the house, and my aunt is you got the collard greens and the chicken, and she also has drinks that people are paying for in her own house. Plates.
That's right.
Those are hustles.
We do parties and we charge them for it. We got drinks here. You want to buy your drinks? You gotta pay to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listen,
Teresa.
that's a good hustle. You know, I remember growing up and going into those illegal places with my mom or my grandmother to, what did you call them in English? They call it la bolita in Spanish, and they call it there was the races, the horse races and stuff like that. You give your little 3 numbers and stuff, and God forbid the detectives were running there and stuff, and everybody got thrown in jail for a little while. But that was the thing back in the day. I mean, shit, that was the hustle. Then they did away with
Lisa yelling at me. Stop yelling at me, Lisa.
That's right, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. And here's the other thing. You know how many people sold weed back in the day? That was their hustle. And now the government got their freaking hands into the weed selling. That's crazy, you know, and a lot of people went to jail for that. So listen, if you got to hustle, take it.
That's right. That's right. Thelma said, Teresa, we're leading our son into going into a trade school. Yeah. He loves welding and is a junior this year. See, I went to trade school. I remember going to Job Corps.
I didn't know they even had trade schools.
Back then, yeah, everybody went to a trade skill, vocational high schools, yeah. But I went to a trade. I look, I did welding. You know what I went to school for? What you guys are gonna blow? This is gonna blow your mind. Fun fact about Lena. Y'all know what my trade was? It was auto body and mechanics, and I graduated out of the top of my class. I first started at General Motors. I went and became an auto body person. That was the only trade they had available, and I didn't want to waste no time because I didn't want to wait for the clerical and all that stuff to open up. And as prissy as I am, believe me, that's what I did. But here's how I hustled out of that, right? Out of trade school at 18, I went to work for R&S Strauss. No, General Motors, right? General Motors. Now, because I was a young girl, of course, those old body men, they wasn't letting me do much of anything, but they did let me mix paint and make the paint for the General Motors car. So you know what, my husband, yeah, I used to put the formulas together, make paint the gallons and all that stuff, do all the orders, right? And because I'm from the Bronx and I'm on hustle land, all right, I went to my local auto body shops and was selling them paint. So I was making paint, and I was like, for a pint that may be $140, I give it to them for 80. So I was hustling. Then I decided to become a mechanic. I said, let me really tap out on this. I'm young, I'm a female, I'm Black, I'm gonna do this. So I went to mechanic school, and it was I forgot what the name of it was, Pier something. And my first job was at R&S Strauss. And they didn't let me be a mechanic because the men there were too macho. There's some young Black girl with a pink toolbox in a pink uniform that I happened to get hold of because I was still prissy on the train with my pinkness. I was only making $200 a week. They never let me touch anything, but I graduated out of the top of my class from mechanic school. Okay, I took all of them daggone. I did everything from the transmitter. I mean the transmission to the engine. I took apart all of that. So I'm just saying that's just a fun fact. Talking about tapping into stuff. That was me.
My first job was being a translator, Spanish translator for.
She said they got caught, not me. I was watching them. I was watching them on the news in the police car shaking my head. Child.
I remember going into one of the.
I think all Gen X are hustlers.
I walked into a place where my mom and I was a kid. I think I was like 7. And the guy says, "Oh, you can't bring her in here." So my mother, as we're walking out, here comes the detectives. And so that was only God, girl. But we was walking out with detectives to clustering all those people in there. My mother was so scared after that. I'm never gonna do that again. Not true. We had the man come to the house, knocking on the door. You guys got some numbers you want? You got numbers you want?
Thelma said, I can't tell you other things that I've done. Not sure about the statute of limitation. Let me tell you,
We got you down the way. We're from Boogie Down.
You talking about things that you have not, that you got, that you believe you gotten away with, right? You don't want to bring those things back up to and have the feds knocking at your door. Don't be too much stuff. If you got away with it, keep quiet about it. Child.
They had to do it. Where you at? Where you
got
from,
away
Thelma?
with some stuff.
Where's Jordan from? Where you from? What's your hood? Name your hood, though.
Y'all are funny. Lily said, "Don't do it, Thelma. Don't do it." That's right. Keep it on a hush hush, child.
No fool. That's what's up.
Cause I'll be. My past catch up to me. Clink, clink.
Girl, I could tell you stories too. But clink, clink.
Lord, that's why I be keeping my thoughts pure and everything pure. I'd be like, woo! I dodged that bullet. Nope. Gen X, we have closed lips. I don't care if you're Gen X or baby boomer. We done some things. These kids these days ain't got nothing on us. They don't got nothing on us, child. It's a wrap.
Baby boomers too.
I know.
They ain't no snitch, and we got closed lips. What did you see? Nothing. You don't know. You know, speaking English. I don't know nothing.
Oh my God.
Where's Penny at? I don't know. She went to sleep.
No.
I need to go walk her, but she was fine.
Oh, we need to go to T-Mobile.
Oh yeah, let's go get your watch, baby.
Today's Friday.
Ow.
What is this?
Oh,
Oh, thank you. Oh, she was like, who called me? Look, Penny said, who called me? Thelma said, I truly love talking to y'all. Thank you, Thelma. Now, when I tell you guys, you guys love us together, right? We love us together too. When I tell you guys we are two separate entities, not separate, we're whole together. But when I tell you that our views and our lives are like, and it's okay. It's okay. That's what balance is. You don't want somebody who's just like you. Because then who's going to check you if they're just like you? Where's the check and balances if they're just like you? You get someone opposite. I pull her up and she pulls me up. Her view, I don't think my views are higher than hers. I think they're drastically different. I think they're more positive, but you know what I mean? Hers is more realistic and resonates with what a lot of people feel. Mine is like, wake up. You're strong. You're smart. You can do anything. You can have anything. You create your own life. That's what mine is.
Like you doing that.
She's telling me to calm the hell down. Penny's point of view is rough, 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 rough. And if rough, 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 then rough, 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 rough.
This is as long as I get my treats. Yeah, man. You want to go walk? You want to walk?
Hell yeah, she spoiled her. And hell yeah, she spoiled her.
Oh, me? Yeah.
Hell yeah. She's a spoiled dog.
She is. This is my monkey.
She's a spoiled dog.
Let's go for a walk, bro. All right, people, I have had a great time talking to you folks and arguing with my wife.
On national television, no less.
On the internet.
Be arguing with me on national television. You see that? You're speaking that into existence. Where my money comes from. She truly believed that Trump plan is to cut down the whole social media. That was fun, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And we don't talk politics in here. You see why, right? We don't talk politics. I'm a rug puller for despair. Now, guys, I know that my views probably is a little bit extreme. And I'm like, oh, like Deetra said, you make everything sound like it's just so easy. Listen, For me, it's not easy, but it's worth it. You gotta try and create financial stability for yourself. You have to. Damn it. Okay. So guys, I'm gonna hang up now. Thank you guys for joining me. It's been real. I'll talk to you soon. All right. All right. All right. I'm going to get my watch to go with my new Ultra 24 Android. Yep. I got me my Android. I got rid of the iPhone. I wasn't gonna be able to do it. It's been 2 years. I gave it a try. I can't do it anymore. And now I'm back to my Android and I'm loving it. Now I'm going to get my watch to match my Android. You get me, Thelma, right? All of you guys get me. Even Deetra. All of you guys get me. But Lonnie, this is the democracy in this marriage. Our marriage is a democracy. Opposing opinions. But I love you guys. All right. Thank you. And I will talk to you soon. Peace.